Hello, YouTube. Thanks for coming by. Since I was a little guy and my grandpa started dragging me out in the woods to go camping with a knife, a canteen, some rope, and a oilcloth tarp, I have just enjoyed and been renewed by wandering around out in the woods. Later on in Cub Scouts and then Boy Scouts and in my college and career years, I've enjoyed walking on long trails in the United States and South America and Asia, climbing on mountains, and in general just hanging out outside. In my various circles, I frequently run into people that find out that I like to go out in the woods, and they ask, can they, next time I go, if I would consider taking them with me. And then the next question is usually predictable. They ask, what do I need to bring? And I usually ask them, well, what do you have? And surprisingly, everybody usually has a sleeping bag of some kind. But when it gets down to cutting tools and what they should take, usually I'll bring a collection of things and let them try them as they go out. And over the years, I've met bushcrafty folks with $400 custom knives, uh, expensive axes from Sweden and around the world. There's some high dollar stuff that you can take out in the woods, but I've always been an advocate of and entertained with the idea that it doesn't take a lot of money to get out in the woods. So for today, I wanted to talk just briefly about affordable ways to get out in the woods with cutting tools. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money, and there are a lot of options out there, and some of them are pretty good. Frequently, I'll see someone do a review of some knife, and they'll say that X knife is a good knife for the price. And I'm not sure how to say it or why that irritates me and gets under my skin, but I don't know how to say it. A good knife is a good knife. It's a good knife. I would prefer that they say that X knife is a really good knife, asterisk, and then at the bottom somewhere say, oh, and by the way, it has an incredibly affordable price point. A good knife is a good knife. So let me have a look and turn this thing around, and I'll show you a couple of different options for getting out in the woods with bladed tools that if you had them, really you'd want to keep them forever. They're that good and that dependable. And so let me turn this around. Let's have a look. Okay, do you recognize this tablecloth from my gear room? Um, for me, my first affordable options were mostly free. My grandfather gave me this little craft knife by Frost, very reminiscent of one of the Moras that you can still get for under 15 bucks. He liked it because it had this little finger guard on the bottom, and for its birch handle, it would prevent me from sliding over it and cutting myself on a blade that back then and today you can still slice, newsprint, and shave hairs with. My next knife was the receipt in the box that Colonel Evans paid for at the Reynolds hardware store in Pensacola showed that this old hickory knife in 1965 was $2. It's gone up since then. The old hickory butcher knife that you can buy in the local hardware store or get online is about $9 now, but for the price, unbelievably good tool. I would be thrilled if somebody dumped me out of an airplane and I wound up in some place in the wild parts of the earth and had either one of these two knives, either the little Frost Mora or the old hickory. I would be good to go. I would be good to go. Uh, Recently also I found this combination at a local outfitter. Let's see, can I turn it around a little bit? It's marketed by Baco, and it has this must be the gold standard of bushcrafty saws. Everybody has one of these things. Not exactly my favorite since I discovered Silky, um, but a good saw, dependable. This knife that says, let's see, can I get close on it here? It says Baco. I don't think anything could be further from the truth. This thing bears a striking resemblance to a Mora Heavy Duty. And it came right out of its little sheath, shaving sharp. So, having mentioned the Moras, let's go over and have a look. This one is a Mora Heavy Duty that I found online, and purchased to be part of my search and rescue kit with the Civil Air Patrol for both my 24 and 72-hour kits. I like it because it's orange, it's hard to lose, very similar to this Mora, which I think is the companion. Both of them for under $15. And these are the ones that typically on the internet in somebody's review, somebody will say, well, this is a good knife for the price. No, it's not. It's a good knife, period. It's a good knife at any price. It's a good knife. It's a good knife. Also, recently I found in my travels this, I'm not sure for Golrika in Sweden, if I'm going to say it right, Hultfors, heavy duty. It has a slightly, just a couple of microns thicker than 1/8 of an inch. Came out of the box shaving sharp, and it cost $9 online. You got to go a really long way to beat this knife for any price. But between the Moras and this one, incredible price points, incredible knives, super sharp, and very utilitarian. I have on one weekend taken one of these out and just beat on it and batoned with it and done things you should never do with a knife. And I've never rolled the blade, I've never chipped one, I've never broken one. And for $9, incredible for the price. This little guy is called the, don't laugh, Wahoo Killer. I got 5 of them for $10 online, $2 a piece, very Mora-esque. I think it's probably made in China. We use it in the kitchen, never done anything to it. The blade isn't dressed and polished as nice as the Moras, but it's shaving sharp. We've used them in the kitchen for some years. I thought, well, for $10, I'll get 5 of these things, and if they're really crummy, then we'll throw it out and get a new one. I have never unpacked the other 4. We've been using this one for years. And here's a company. I've obscured the name of it a little bit by wrapping it with some paracord and some tape to hold the paracord in place. If you've been on YouTube, you'll instantly recognize these as some of the incredible products from Condor. This one in the middle is the Condor Bushlore, its miniature brother, and this is the Greenland pattern axe. I don't remember the price point for these, but I think the little one is in the 20s, maybe $29, around $30 for the middle one, and I think I paid $35 for this axe. $2.95 carbon steel, if I remember right, made in El Salvador. Originally, Condor was from Solingen, Germany. I think they moved. I had heard on YouTube reviews that they had had some problems with their quality control. All 3 of these came out of their new packaging, shaving sharp with sliced newsprint. No problems, no complaints on any level with either of these 3 tools. And wow, if I don't just have a love affair for Mora knives, you gotta love some of the Condors. They have a Kephart-esque knife. I think they have a Nesmith knockoff. Joe Flowers with his famous, well-known YouTube channel, frequents to design a lot of their bladed tools. Cannot say enough both about how affordable these Condors are and what a good price point. So frequently hear on the internet too, this is a good knife for the price. No, it's just a really good knife. This middle one I used for about 3 months, just so I could say I had batoned with it and made feather sticks and do all the things that people do on YouTube tests when they're checking these things out. Outside of dressing the blade at the end with a strop, never done anything to it, still shaving sharp, no complaints. Which is sad, because I think therapeutically when I get a new knife, sometimes it helps me in my mind to look at the blade and put a strop on it and dress it up and make it better. Couldn't really make this one better, no complaints. If they had quality controls in the past issues, they don't have quality control issues now, at least as far as these 3 are concerned in my personal life. Here's another one that I got that's in my 72-hour kit for the Civil Air Patrol. It's a Schrade axe with a fiberglass handle. It even has this orange paracord in the back is connected to a fire steel that comes out, and scraping it on the back of the axe throws lots of sparks. I think this one was $35. I don't know what kind of steel it is. I've beat on it for several years, going out with the Civil Air Patrol on actual missions and training events. Can't say enough about what a great job Schrade does with their bladed tools, and especially this little guy. And seen on YouTube too, people say, "Oh, this is a great little axe for the price." I don't know why that irritates me. It's just a great axe. Maybe it's not a Wetterlings or a Gränsfors Brooks, but wow, just a great axe and an incredibly affordable price point. As far as cutting tools, besides the Baco, this little still folder I got for $8 at the local Ace Hardware. And this, let me see, can I back it up? This little bow saw, very reminiscent of the Baco 21-inch. I got for $11 at Ace Hardware. Very packable. And so if you're looking to go out in the woods and have affordable cutting tools that are the kinds of things you'd want to keep forever, wow, there are a lot of options out there for you. And don't be off-put by the YouTube videos that describe blades that are a good tool for the price. All of these I've used, and they're just a good tool, period. I have a new friend on YouTube, High Carbon Steel Love. I think he's in upper state New York, and he used to have a More Knife Monday. If you go check out his YouTube channel, every More knife you can imagine, most of the council tool axes, which are also pretty affordable. He does great reviews. Also, Brian at Survival on Purpose, has a lot of great reviews about most of these knives and the Condors. Between those two especially, you get a complete unvarnished review of the capability of the knife and get to see him taking them out in the woods doing real stuff with them. Cannot say enough about all of these options as far as being an affordable way to get into bushcraft without breaking the bank in your wallet. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.